Les Shangaventuriers, interviewer un New-Yorkais au Vietnam pour parler de la Chine, c'est pas possible? C'est maintenant! Je suis avec Mensa, vraiment très heureux de te rencontrer. Un grand merci pour ton aide pour passer la frontière, pour rejoindre le Vietnam. Et je suis très excité à l'idée de connaître le point de vue d'un Américain sur la Chine. Ne perdons pas de temps. I'm with Mensa. Really happy to meet you, and a big thank for your help to cross the border to join Vietnam. I'm very excited to know the point of view of an American on China.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
Oh, thank you. What made you decide to live in China? Qu'est-ce qui t'a décidé à vivre en Chine?
So when I was back in New York, I worked for two of the largest insurance companies in America. And I never had any dream or aspiration about living in China. But what happened is in 2014, I had a chance to visit China. It was my first trip to China. Prior to that, I didn't have any goals or aspirations about visiting China. But I got the opportunity to visit northern China. It was a city called Jinan. It's in Shandong province. And so I stayed there for 3 months. And during my visit, I traveled to several other cities in China. And I went to Shanghai, Beijing, Qingdao, Chongqing, and southern China also. After the 3 months, I returned back to America, and I wasn't quite sure of what I was going to do because I had left corporate America. I was no longer working at two of America's largest insurance companies. And so one night I was out in New York City, and I noticed that there were many frozen yogurt ice cream shops. And it wasn't my first time because I would always take my son and we would eat frozen yogurt together. But it was during that evening that I had decided I would open up a frozen yogurt shop in China as a business.
Incredible. And est-ce que c'est dur d'ouvrir un business en Chine? It's hard to open a business in China?
I don't think that it's very difficult. I think, if you decided or another foreigner decided to open a business in China, I don't think that it's very difficult. I think it's really about meeting the right people to assist you. So even if in France, say for example, you're in France and you want to open up a business, you may not necessarily know all of the paperwork and the regulations that need to be followed. So you may ask an accountant or an attorney to help you.
You don't have to have an associate Chinese. You can.
No, you can do it yourself.
Yes,
you can do it yourself. Yeah. So if you want to open up a business as a foreigner in China, they call it a wholly owned foreign enterprise. So you yourself can be the owner of the business. It's not very difficult, but because of the language, it's best to get someone that's maybe local, that understands the language, and they can help you fill out all of the paperwork that's necessary and help you find a place that you want to have your business and things like that. Wow. It's not very difficult at all. No.
And comment les Américains voient la Chine? How do Americans view China?
Well, I mean, that's a very big question.
Yeah.
I think the media in general may not paint China as a country where not only Americans but maybe some other Westerns may not necessarily feel that they're welcome. In my experience, I've been very much welcomed by the local Chinese people, and I've also been welcomed by even like visiting the government offices when establishing the businesses. You know, I didn't feel any resistance. You know, I just felt that they wanted to make sure that all of the proper procedures were followed. And in the end, after opening up the business, there was no resistance or anything like that. Yeah, so I think in general, as both you and I have experienced, you know, we've had some positive experience with
of course.
people here in China.
Te manque le plus des États-Unis. What do you miss most about the United States?
Well, we had dinner tonight together, you know, and you know, thank you for sharing.
No, thank you too.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, so the dinner was great, and I had some spaghetti tonight. You know, so.
Me too.
So the thing that I think I miss most is, I mean, I love American culture. You know, I was born in New York, and whether it's food or music or people, you know, I love the people of America. So there are times where I do have this, I don't know if it's a French word, nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia, it's a French
nostalgia.
word, yeah. So sometimes I have nostalgia when I'm in China about the food in America, the music, the people, New York City. So,
I think we all have the same sentiment, the feeling the same if you go live another place.
Right.
Vous vous rendez compte la chance qu'on a d'interviewer un pur New-Yorkais. Thank you, Mensa. Qu'est-ce que tu es content de trouver en Chine que tu ne trouves pas aux États-Unis? What are you happy to find in China that you can't find in the United States?
You know, China has a very rich culture, right? So you've traveled to many places for the past month and a half, you know, in China. And even though there's, like in America, you know, you have Chinatown. In New York City, you have Chinatown. But Chinatown is very, very different, you know, from being on the mainland in China. And so the culture is just a fascinating experience, you know, with the culture and the people. And you'll never find it anywhere outside of the mainland China. Would you agree with that?
Pure agree. I go to Chinatown in London. It's not China.
That's correct.
It's a good quarter, but it's not China.
That's correct.
The same question. What are you happy to find in States you don't find in China?
In the United States?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So the question is, what am I happy to find in the United States that I would not find in China? Food, you know.
I think I'm French, I understand. If I don't understand, who understands?
Yeah, so over dinner tonight, Simon and I had dinner, and we were talking about like French food, you know, and I had mentioned to Simon that in New York, there's a French bakery, and it's called Bouchon, and it's located right near Central Park in Manhattan.
Wow.
And I was telling Simon that, you know, I used to love going to Bouchon, and they have this soy latte, and they have pastries that are just so delicious. And you cannot find that probably outside of France or New York City. So those are some of the things that you can't find in China.
Okay. Est-ce que tu aurais un conseil pour quelqu'un qui veut visiter la Chine? A tip for someone who wants to visit China?
Oh, to visit, I would say, if it's possible to talk to people locally. So, for example, before I came to China, I met a friend in New York City, and I had just learned a little bit about what the plan was. You know, well, what is my plan? Where am I going? Which city will I stop in first? And make sure you prepare. Probably more than a couple of weeks is good. Maybe if you can do a 3-week vacation minimum, because there's a lot to see.
Yeah.
And by the time you adjust, you know, from the flight is about 15 hours from America.
Wow, 15 hours.
Yeah, 15
Yeah,
hours.
same, I think.
Yeah, so.
We do in one time? Or?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. One way is 15 hours. So if you plan well, you know the destination city that you're going to go to, and maybe plan some other places that you're going to visit, do some research on that back at home. And once you get here, you'll find that people are very friendly. So you'll have no problem navigating to different places and the signs, like if you take a subway, it also has English.
Yeah.
Or if you're in the airport, it's also English. So I think that if you decide to come to China, just make a good plan and do a little research on the culture and get ready to drink some really good Chinese tea.
Wow,
because I know that you also enjoy that. Yeah.
Amazing. We can find in France Chinese tea, but it's not the same.
Yes.
Like the feeling of the food is the same feeling with the tea.
That's correct. Yeah.
Drink tea in China, amazing.
That is correct. Yeah.
Dernière question. Quel est ton plat préféré chinois? What's your favorite food, Chinese?
Favorite Chinese food? Let's see. Well, I would have to say Sichuan Thai. So Sichuan is the name of a province in China. And they have this fish that they make, and the Sichuan Thai, it's a little spicy.
Yeah.
But it is very, very delicious.
Okay.
So that's what I've came to enjoy the most at eating in China.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mensa. Merci beaucoup.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
Real good man.
Yes,
thank you for
thank
your
you.
help. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very nice to meet you.
Wonderful meeting you too. Yes. Yeah.
Quelle chance. Merci.